Hi everyone, it's Kate from The Fold Line. I am back this week with a party edit. I was in town at the weekend looking in all the shops and there's loads of stuff on the mannequin and I was thinking, oh, what would I like to sew for this season as we head into December? And I thought, well, if I'm interested, maybe you guys are too. So this is a little bit like Sew the Trend. So I've been into the shops, I've looked at everything that they had on all the mannequins and what they've kind of brought in for winter kind of party season, and I've sort of done an edit for you guys. So I hope you like it. I'm going to get started. So let's start with colour. Now this seems, when I show you this, is kind of very, very muted colour palette. Very dark, lots and lots of black, lots of kind of very pale creams, and then kind of in the middle you can see here quite a lot of metallics, which obviously very much ties into party season. So those were kind of, if you're thinking of buying fabrics, those are what you should be kind of looking for. And let's talk about fabrication. So the main fabrication, which I know is every party season, sequins, but they really were everywhere this year. I mean, everywhere. So if you are thinking about making something, whatever it may be, however simple, I would head for the sequin department because that was very much on trend. So they were on everything, dresses, almost like quite a lot of, you can see the mango dress here. This is like almost like, this was like a piece of knitwear that had loads of sequins on it. So if you want to just do a little bit of a nod to party season, then just hit up the sequin department and you are good to go. So let's talk about what you are going to wear. There were really lovely blouses, loads and loads of blouses, which I think is great because it means that you can just pair it with a pair of trousers that you already have and it just sort of elevates an outfit. Big sleeves were the thing for party season. Really big dramatic sleeves, which I was really excited about because I thought that sort of theme was sort of slightly tinkering off, but it's definitely not. So you can see here again, really dark, kind of, again, no prints, very simple in terms of the colour, and there were quite a lot of things. You can see the and other stories one, quite a lot of sheer kind of blouses that you'd layer up. So in terms of the patterns, I've got three really great options for you. So the first one is the Trends Patterns tuck sleeve top. I have spoken about this many times because I think it's gorgeous and it's really interesting shape. So if I show you the line drawing, you can see what's going on a bit more. So it's got quite a lot of structure. It's V-neck. It's got these quite big darts at the front. There's a seam at the waist. And then you've got these really interesting sleeves which have a sort of tuck feature which is caught into the seam of the sleeve. For this, finding the right fabric is the thing that's going to make or break this. I think you want something, if you want something really dramatic, I would pick something with a bit of structure. If you want something that feels a bit less full on, then something with a bit more drape. I think it's such a lovely pattern and it's really interesting shape. So if you haven't come across it before, definitely go and have a look at it because it's a really good pattern. It's PDF only and it comes in sizes UK 8 to 22, this one. The next pattern I've got, which I think has, you know, the biggest sleeve, is the Fibre Mood Lulu blouse. This comes as a PDF only and it's available in sizes UK 6 to 30. So this is such a lovely pattern. It's one of their kind of new releases as a PDF. You can see that it's V-neck, it's got buttons down the front, and then, I mean, the main feature is this enormous sleeve. I think it's so much fun and I think, you know, it would look amazing tucked into a pair of jeans. You could wear it with a skirt. It really is going to be kind of your big sort of statement piece that you're wearing. And it's got really lovely big cuffs as well. So the thing that I have found, I've got a couple of tops with quite big sleeves. If you don't have a big cuff, then the sleeve ends up sort of getting in the way, and actually you kind of need a big cuff to kind of keep it a little bit further up your arm so that you can actually like do stuff and, you know, eat and drink and all of that. So that one is my second offering. And then last but not least is the Vicky Sews Lisa blouse, which I think is so beautiful. So it comes in a size UK 6 to 20 is a PDF only. I'll show you the line drawing so you can see what's going on. There's quite a lot of detail in this pattern actually. So it's got a little sort of granddad collar. It's got a slightly off center, you can see placket. And then there are quite a lot of detail in the seams. So it's got this really lovely detail that has a seam running kind of from the top of your kind of just below your shoulders, and it runs all the way down the arm as well, which I think is really great. It does this at the back of the pattern, on the back as well. Again, it's got nice big deep cuffs, and then there's lots of gathering with on the shirt and also on the sleeve. So it's quite, this one is quite an involved make, but I think it's a really interesting piece, and I love a shirt with lots of detail. So those are my 3 kind of big sleeve options. Next up, we've got suits. Suits were everywhere. If you're going to make one thing for this season, and I know obviously we're getting close and there's not a huge amount of time, but a suit was just everywhere. In velvets, and quite a lot in sequins. You can see the mango one here, and also then in a kind of classic black. I really liked the mixture of fabrics. You can see with the Zara and the Jigsaw one, actually there was a mix of satin and a matte fabric, and you can see that the Jigsaw one has sort of inverted it, so the whole suit's in a shiny fabric, and then the lapels are in a matte fabric, and the Zara is the more traditional kind of what you'd see in a sort of tuxedo. I love these. I think, you know, you can't go wrong in my mind with a suit. So taking in mind that there is not a huge amount of time left to make stuff, I've got 2 options for the suit. So jacket wise, if you have a bit more time and you want to get involved in a kind of really great bit of tailoring make, the Closet Core Jessica blazer, which I thought would work perfectly for this. It's a paper only, this one, and it comes in sizes UK 6 to 20. It's a really lovely pattern. It's got all the details that you'd expect on a classic kind of piece of tailoring. A 2-piece sleeve, there's optional, you can have patches over the elbows. Pocket details, there are 2 different options you can pick for the pockets, but yeah, this is a kind of proper involved make. If you want to get the feel of a sort of tuxedo or like kind of sort of tailor jacket, but you want something a little bit more simple, I thought that the Avid Seamstress blazer would work really well for this. It's got a lot less detail. If I show you the line drawing, you can see it's got this really interesting actually detail around the seam. So you can see that it's got a kind of a seam at the, I guess it would be about just on your waist, which the pockets are then caught into. So there are pockets, but it almost looks like there aren't. You can see there's just, in terms of the construction, it's going to be a bit more simple. There's a bit less sort of going on, and you can see the fit of it is a little bit more casual. So I thought that would work really well if you were a bit time poor. Trouser wise, again, I've gone for 2 options. The assembly line high-waisted trouser, which I think are just completely beautiful. They come in sizes UK 8 to 30. They are, if I show you the line drawing, you can see they are a classic pair of tailored trousers. They're quite wide-legged, but they're not too wide-legged. They've got the kind of pleats at the front, pockets, and then they've got these really lovely, you can see on the back of the waistband, these kind of button tabs, which I think are there so that you can adjust the size a little bit if you wanted to. But I just think they're really lovely. If you are time poor, then I thought the Maker's Atelier wide leg trouser would work perfectly. So if I show the line drawing, you can see there are 2 options. There's basically one version that's got a kind of elasticated waist, and they are a kind of twist on a tailored trouser because they're actually a jersey. And I thought that you could totally, they look, when you see the pictures of them, they look like they could be a tailored trouser, but they're super easy to make. So they've also got a sort of like fake fly on the front, so they look like actually a proper piece, a pair of tailored trousers, but they're not. So they're like secret pajamas. So those are my 2 options for the suit. Next up, waistcoats. Waistcoats were everywhere. They've very much been around this season, so I think if you are thinking about a waistcoat, now is definitely a good time to make them. You can see from the picture I'm showing you quite different variants. You can either go kind of down the sparkly route, but if we're thinking about having something that lasts a bit longer, then maybe you want to kind of make it in something like a wool or a cotton or whatever. So I've got two options. The Fibre Mood Vivian waistcoat was the pattern that I thought would work really well. It's got buttons down the front, it's V-neck, PDF only for this one, and it comes in sizes UK 6 to 30. It's a really nice one. I picked this one because I thought it kind of has all the nods to the men's tailoring, but it feels, the cut of it is a bit more fitted. If you're looking for something a bit more closer to sort of a men's waistcoat, I thought the Merchant & Mills Miller waistcoat would work really well for this. This is available in paper and PDF, and it's available in sizes UK 6 to 30, this one. You can see that the V on this one sits a lot higher. Buttons down the front, there are little pocket options as well. So I think those ones sort of tick both boxes. If you're looking for something a little less fitted, then the Miller one is definitely the way to go. So dresses next. So I've got three different sort of styles of dresses that were very much in. So the first one I'm going to talk about is a sort of very simple dress. There were lots of these available in varying fabrics, from jersey, quite a lot of jersey ones. There were some made in sort of jersey, kind of a sheer fabric. You can see like the Zara one. And then there's also this sort of very slinky bias cut version from Another Stories. So first up, we've got the Fibre Mood Roya dress. Now I picked this one because I felt like if you were thinking sequin jersey, this might be a nice option because it's slightly less fitted. It's a little bit kind of looser fitting. There are lots of different options with this. You can also make it into a top. There's kind of a big sort of floaty sleeve option, but I felt like this was a really good core option. So I haven't said sizing. Sizing on this is a UK 4 to 32. It's available in PDF only. So if you're feeling like you like that, but you want something a little bit kind of showing a little bit more flesh, I thought the Vicky So's Ileana dress, sorry, would work really well for this. I really love the neckline of this, that kind of slightly lower cut one. I mean, obviously you could buy one of these patterns and change them to however you want. You could change the neckline on the Fibre Mood one, but I just really loved the shape of the neckline, and this I thought was really elegant. This is available as PDF and paper, so depending on what you would like, and then it's in sizes UK 6 to 20. I'm sorry if you can hear that scratching. That is my dog getting herself comfortable for her nap of the day. So yeah, that's my second one. And then finally, I thought I'd put in a bit of a cult classic, the True Bias Nico top and dress. This is such a fab pattern, and you can obviously make this in a top as well. There's a polo neck option, which I really liked, and there's sleeve and sleeveless options, and you put a slit in the side. So that one felt like kind of those three patterns. It's just kind of picking the kind of one that you obviously prefer. So next up on the dress was the strappy dress. Very simple, quite 90s feeling. These were everywhere. Lots of different necklines. I've actually got a few, so there was quite a few with cowl necklines. There were quite a few you can see with a V. I've got the ASOS one with V-neck, and then there's quite a few with sort of straighter neckline. I've picked three patterns that I thought would work really well for these. So I really love the shape. I think it's so nice to have something kind of simplish to make. So the first pattern I've got, if you love that sort of cowl neck, that sort of drapey bit at the front with strappy dress, the Mason Sicily slip dress would be absolutely perfect for this. This has been such a popular pattern with everyone. So sizing on this is a UK 6 to 28. It's PDF only, and you can also make this into a top, but I love the shape of this. I love the length of it. You could also make it's kind of cut so that it's sort of just below the knee. You can make it longer if you wanted. It's totally up to you. And in terms of the length of things, there were quite a lot of midi ones and quite a lot of sort of full length options. So that to me feels like a really great option. If you like that feel, but you would rather make something in a stretch fabric, I thought that the Tammy Handmade Leona dress would work really well. You can see that she's made it here in a velvet, which would feel very like fun and festive. So this is V-neck. You can see it's got a seam up the centre back, little straps, actually a nice, if you made this in a jersey, it's going to be like a really nice quick sew as well, so it's not going to take you forever. This is PDF only, this one, and it comes in a UK 6 to 24 for sizing of this. And then last but not least, I thought that if you wanted something that was a bit looser fitting, which there definitely were, I actually don't have a picture, but there were items that were kind of not as kind of figure hugging. I thought that the Fibre Mousse summer dress would work really well for this. So it's got that really nice sort of V neckline, but you can see the cut of it is so that it's a little bit looser. And I thought this would also look really nice if you were wearing this kind of with, I know it feels like very, obviously it's summery, but it feels very summery. You could also wear this like going forward with a polo neck underneath, but I thought this one ticked a lot of boxes. And if you like something that's a little bit more roomy, you can see there are darts at the bust, and then it's it's kind of cut slightly out, so it's not kind of, not figure hugging. I don't know why I keep doing this when I say figure hugging. Yes, so that is for the strappy option. Then this is the last sort of dress in my little edit. I've called it the staple dress because I feel like this is something that you reach for time and time again. They're really classic kind of shape. So cinched in just sort of either at the waist or slightly above, V-neck, and they've got a really nice kind of sleeve option, kind of slightly bell-shaped sleeve. I thought the Whistles one was really lovely, that the sleeve is in a sheer fabric and the rest is not. And yeah, so I think I've got 3 really great dresses for you. So the first pattern I've got for this is the Closet Core Knix dress. I thought this one would work really well, and this is probably the most casual of the 3 of them. In terms of the fit, you can see it's slightly looser fitting at the top. It's got this option to have lots of tiers of fabric. It's got the kind of right shaped sleeve, little buttons down the front. So I thought that one would be a really nice option if you like that style, but you want something that's a little less fitted and feels a little less formal. The second pattern that I thought would work really well for this is the Silver Saga Ella dress. I love this pattern. I think it's beautiful. So it's PDF only for this one. Sizing is a UK 6 to 22. I can show you the line drawing, you can see what's going on here. So it's got this really gorgeous big sleeve. There's an option to make it short sleeved as well, and really nice low cut at the front, and it's got a kind of channel which is sewn through with a little tie. The dress shape on this is quite flared as well, which I thought would work really nicely. So that's a sort of middle kind of option. And then the last one is a really great pattern. It's the Naomi woven dress from Style Arc. If you haven't seen it before, it's such a nice pattern. I'll show you the line drawing so you can see it's actually really nice and simple. So it's got a V-neck at the front, it's got the perfect shaped sleeve, and then it's got this slightly curved seam line at the waist, which has got a kind of channels sewn through it with the little ties at the side. And then you can see the length of this. There's options to have a little split in it, but it's a really lovely pattern, and I think it's something that it's actually a pattern that I have kind of skipped over before, but if you haven't seen it, it's a really nice one. So that is it from me. I hope that was useful and you found something nice and gives you a bit of inspiration for a bit of festive sewing. And I will be back soon with another video. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.